So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been...
You were no longer going to be in a relationship where you were trying to make her happy.
So after Jada Pinkett Smith's stunning revelations about her tumultuous marriage to Will Smith, where she said that they have been actually separated since 2016, people have been waiting for the reaction of the Fresh Prince himself. And apparently, what Will has to say about his wife spilling the beans of their marital secrets has created another buzz in Tinseltown. Apparently, the Academy Award winner wants to back up Jada's words about so-called divorce by actually slapping her with actual divorce paper, after almost 3 decades of their seemingly rock-solid marriage. So, we've already heard what Jada thinks about their union, and now let's listen to Will's side of the story and what he thinks about this wife.
You love in freedom with everybody except your partner.
As you know, guys, a few days ago, Jada dropped another bombshell, and it will certainly take some time to forget that cringed-worthy interview. Jada knows how to keep the pot stirring and hot, and while everyone believed that the couple has been working on their marital issues, in fact, they were already splitting the family house into separate zones. And the only reason they kept playing the happy couple is because they didn't know what to say to people. As Jada mentioned in her interview, how do we present that to people? We hadn't figured that out. Now, as if this story couldn't get any stranger, they've been caught red-handed trying to act like a loving couple in public when they've secretly been leading separate lives.
That in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Jada spilled the beans on this whole charade and claimed they were just exhausted and tired of each other. As she stated, I think by the time we got to 2016, we both just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be. Well, trying to hide a sham marriage is actually an exhausting work, and it seems like Will Smith had enough of Jada's crazy public statements that stain his image and portray him in a bad light.
Social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media.
And if you look at the situation from Will Smith's point of view, it's clear as a day that this man pretty much sacrificed his career and embarrassed himself to keep up the facade. Yes, I'm talking about that Academy Awards episode, after which Will was banned from the Oscars for a whopping 10 years. Now, it seems like after Jada's recent revelations, the actor had enough of that marital bees and pretense, and while Jada mentioned she's not planning to get an official divorce, the insiders are claiming that it's certainly on Will Smith's mind.
So this was the first time in my life where I felt like I had suffered enough to be able to have something valuable to say.
Let's see how Jada would react to that, because in her own words, she and Will are in this ride forever, and knowing all his shady, intimate secrets, she doesn't even think that he would be able to openly live with another person apart from her. As Jada told the reporter, he's getting old. You know what I'm saying? He's getting old. Who's going to be there for him? Hoda, it's going to be me. It's going to be me. I will be there. Now, that's the confidence and boldness that would certainly make any man enraged. And if you start to look back at the events that took place during these 7 years of their separation, it's easy to see that Will made a choice that nobody was applauding. He basically tanked his career in order to keep the facade and spent the major part of the recent years apologizing.
Lies, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt.
Now, the biggest head turner was obviously the Oscar slap. And Jada recently opened up about the whole fiasco, sharing her point of view. Apparently, she thought it was all a skit to entertain the public. And Jada, in true supportive wife fashion, let Will figure the whole thing out himself. And let me translate it to you. Apparently, she didn't care much. Immediately after the episode, during his teary Best Actor acceptance speech later that night, Will said he was a fierce defender of his family.
Most delicate people I've ever met. I got to protect.
But knowing that Will and Jada hadn't been living together at that moment adds a new layer of speculation to the whole thing, and many people keep wondering why on earth Will Smith did what he did that night. It looks like he and Jada agreed on playing a happy couple in public, but now Jada put her own needs and priorities first again, and when promoting her upcoming book Worthy, she decided to air all the dirty linen at once and get more publicity with her revelations.
My question is, I feel like you're a straight talker.
I am.
And she has kind of achieved her goal because she and Will is everything people keep talking these days. Now, as insiders claim, this bombshell wasn't discussed with Fresh Prince in advance. And apparently, these revelations were humiliating to the point that the actor finally decided that enough was enough. As many people are saying, it's time for Will to man up and throw his lady out of his life. As one person commented, she has completely emasculated him. Let her go, Will. Live your life. No wonder the kids are nuts. Watching them on red carpets, speaking crap, putting on a united front. And another user added, the poor man will finally have some dignity and happiness back in his life. Jada wrecked Will. And guys, it hasn't been a smooth ride for the Smiths all these years. Ever since the start of their so-called lifetime partnership, the couple has faced multiple problems, and guess what? It was Jada who's been problematic all this time. First, with her never-ending statements about how much she loved Tupac, even though the rapper has passed away almost 3 decades ago.
My relationship with Pac and trying to figure that out, and that was a huge loss in my life.
Then it became clear that Jada would find more and more drama to keep the audience talk about them. It has always been something with her, and I don't know how Will Smith, in fact, was able to remain that patient. Even during his interview with Oprah, the actor confessed that Jada has been hard to please. No man can make Jada happy. Therefore, she doesn't need to go looking for one. We both know that there is no one who can fill your void. But guys, it's not like Jada didn't try. You all must remember that little thing called an entanglement with none other than her son Jaden's pal, August Alsina, that Jada was so proud of.
Entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship.
Well, this saga began in 2015, 1 year before the Smiths' unofficial separation. Jada eventually confirmed the nature of her long-term relationship with August, referring to it as an entanglement during her Facebook Watch series, the infamous Red Table Talk. And even more, Jada had the audacity to invite her husband Will Smith to discuss how she was sleeping around. And it was when the actor first aired his grievances and anger towards her on camera, saying, "I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again. Like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle." There's just certain things that you have to go through in a marriage. I wish it could be all magic and miracles, but the miracle didn't happen. And in fact, Jada spiced up the whole story by admitting she was one step away from another romance. And guess with who? None other than comedian Chris Rock.
If we don't talk about it, we're not going to get to the other side.
As Jada revealed in her interview, Chris Rock wanted to give it a shot, apparently, to check if these rumors about Jada sleeping around were true. He reportedly called Jada and asked her out, thinking she and Will were splitting up. Jada had to disappoint him and refused to go out with the man. However, it looks like Chris Rock is not happy with Jada spilling these details, and as insiders claimed, Chris hates that she keeps bringing it up and bringing up the other revelations about Chris asking her on a date and all of that. Now, it gets obvious that Jada had crossed so many lines with her recent revelations, and not only she humiliated her husband, but also spilled too much about Chris Rock and his alleged passes at her. No wonder that Will Smith is not really happy with what Jada is doing to his image and reputation, and he thinks of actually filing for a divorce after reading her pathetic book.
First time that we actually sat down and acknowledged the reality was when I read her the chapter.
Now, let's see where this story takes us. Because even having a man with an infinite patience by your side, like Will Smith sometimes, even he comes to realize that keeping a woman like this is dangerous for his career and emotional well-being. Fans are happy that the actor is thinking of getting out of this cobweb of toxicity and problems, and they wish the Fresh Prince a fresh start without Jada. As one person commented, "Good for Will Smith. He'll now be free from the narcissist he calls wife." And another user added, "Will deserves better, and he should know that. Hope he finds self-respect for himself away from Jada." It's obvious that Will and Jada have had their share of reasons to separate, and this Oscar slap saga is just one layer in the Hollywood onion of drama. And now I have a question for you guys. Do you think that Will is actually going to divorce Jada? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check my other videos. Well, that's it for now.